And welcome back. Let me tilt you up here a little bit. There we go. As you can see, the machine shop called. They had time to fit the cam. And gave me the green light to go ahead and pick it up today. So we did get it attached to the engine stand. And that's one thing I wanted to show you here. It was doable, but just because of the amount of available mounting holes. I'm going to get this plastic peeled back here for you. Just because of the position of the mounting holes in the bracket versus the holes that we had to deal with where they were on this particular block for the bell housing that the holders mount into. Again, they're just like the last engine stand. They just bolt into the bell housing. What is the bell housing bolt holes? We were able to get all 4 arms on it. As you can see, we did have to kind of cock the head sideways. You see here just a little bit to be able to get 4 arms on it, but had the wife come out here. She's good with puzzles, and she's the one that discovered that we can turn this plate a little bit and get the 4th one to line up. Let's see here. Let's get you in position. Rest this plastic off. Okay, so what our machine shop did for us was obviously clean the block up and the bores, all the passages for the lifters, the passages for the MDS solenoids, which remember we're going to put block offs in and then get rid of all those. But the cylinders themselves had to be bored out 30 thousandths. And you can see down in there, nice shiny new metal. Got a little bit of a debris on it, but it's one thing you got to understand. If you've never picked up an item from a machine shop before, although it has been cleaned, although it has been prepped, it's always good to kind of go over everything and clean it again. It's just the nature of the beast. The machine shop's the machine shop. So before we go to put anything on here as far as seals and such, then we'll be sure to wipe down all our surfaces just like we did when we were doing the top end rebuild within the truck itself. Now, to be fair, I did order it. I can pick it up tomorrow. They had one in stock. I forgot to order the rear main oil seal. Again, always inventory your parts. But a good, like I said, the local O'Reilly's here had a Felpro one in stock, so that's what we'll be using. You can see they've gone ahead and just installed the cam like we were talking about, checked it for fitment. The guy at the machine shop said, cam went straight in, so they didn't have to do anything as far as adjusting the type of cam bearings or the sizing of the cam bearings that they used. He said it went right in, which was nice. He says it's actually been a while since he's seen a Hemi cam go in that they haven't had to do any work to. And this was the Comp Cams cam that we ordered from my tuner, Jay Green. And just to show you this here, that sticker once again. So this is what he calls his 209-226 stage 1.5 LL sleeper. So this is the cam that gives it a little bit wider power band, but also doesn't require it to be custom tuned for a big cam. It's a slightly bigger cam, but it's not like an aggressive cam with an aggressive idle. We'll get into doing a little bit more of aggressive cam when we start tearing into the red one. But again, as you can see, all nice and shiny new pistons. So we got obviously bigger size pistons, piston rings, connecting rods. The bearings for the crank have all been replaced. Obviously the bearings for the cam have all been replaced as well. And let me just fold up the tripod here so I can give you a little bit of view of that. They kept the original crank in it. They said it was fine. They did polish it before they put the new cam bearings in. We got a little bit of surface rust here just from it kind of sitting around for a little bit. No biggie. We can take care of that surface rust with a little bit of red or green Scotch-Brite and some brake clean, and that'll clean right on up. Give you a shot of the other side of this, and everything's been thoroughly oiled from the machine shop. It may not look like it, but everything's got a nice coating, nice sheen to it. you can kind of see the rear main, the rear bearing, I should say, not main, but rear bearing for the cam right there. And we've got, they left all our retaining bolts in it for our rear main seal. You can probably see them sticking out the side there. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, I just noticed that. Looks like they missed one because there should be another bolt at the top of this, and there is not. So I'm gonna have to go down there and see if they have that, because that will delay things a bit if I have to order that. But the plan is that we're going to obviously build this up with it on the engine stand, and hopefully you can see that, but you can already tell that unlike the last engine stand that we had, this one with just the weight of the block on it, that block is nice and straight. It's not bending down, and it freely rotates, which is beautiful, and I'll show you that here in a second. Okay, so let me get you on the tripod, and we're gonna have a little fun here, just because I think being able to do this is kind of cool. Okay, check this out. Back that up a little bit. Okay, we should be back to where we started. And as you can see, with the crank and the gearbox on that, and again, like we talked about earlier, with that being supported by main bearing, it's a breeze to be able to spin this engine around now and work on it. So it's going to make it much better as far as being able to get in here, assemble it, turn it as we need it, in order to get the long block completed, to where we can then get it on the vehicle. Obviously, there are some items that we can't do while it's on the engine stand, so just put the rear main seal on. We might be able to sneak it in here without taking it off the stand, but we may have to do that while it's being suspended with the cherry picker, as well as putting the flex plate on and the dust cover that goes behind the flex plate. But everything else we should be able to do as it stands. So that's going to be putting the assembly on the bottom. So windage tray, oil pan gasket, windage tray and oil pan gasket, they're one and the same. The pickup tube, the oil pan, the timing cover, all the timing hardware that obviously is associated with that, the MDS solenoid blockers for the top, the lifters, finally the heads, the push rods. So we should be able to get it into a completed long block state between here and the cherry picker and get this to the point where it's ready to just drop right in and be good to go. So with that being said, this is going to be a little bit shorter video, but I wanted to give you an update and let you know that we officially have the block as of now. And the next couple, I'm going to try to do it in one video. It may be two, depending on how long it's going to be. But we'll do up a video as we're assembling this. Now, it may not be a detailed step-by-step because there's already other videos on the channel. One for when we did the upper engine rebuild on this one initially, as well as the work we did on the 2500 that cover more in depth as far as the assembly. So I don't want to bore you with yet another assembly video unless you really want to see it, and then I'll go ahead and shoot it. But what we're going to do is we're going to take advantage of the little bit of bad weather that's headed our direction. with the hurricane that's currently just got done going through Florida and kind of coming up the East Coast. We're projected to get a lot of rain, I think Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at this point. So we'll take advantage of just kind of being locked into the garage here over the weekend to be able to get this long block assembled. And then hopefully, you know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the following weekend, provided that we have good weather, then we'll work on getting this block, you know, that's the plan, getting this block reassembled into our gray truck, and then giving it a test fire and see how well we fare. But with that being said, I will let you go and I will bring you back for the next one. Thank you much. Bye.